let this alarm ring for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, it will spontaneously create a black hole from the pressure waves and just suck the entire universe into it. What I notice right in front of me, I shit you not, is a green leather sofa. What I notice right in front of me, I shit you not, is a green leather sofa. I would feel so much better about this if, bear with me.
Yeah, we did it about literally anything else. Me too.
So welcome back to A Cup of Fellas.
Welcome back.
Steve.
Yes.
I have an idea for another thing we could do with our Discord episodes.
Okay.
Following in your greatness, your footsteps.
Thank you. Yeah.
But I think I'm going to need your help a little bit to pull it off because it's a little more complicated than a tier list or a tournament bracket.
Okay.
Have you heard of SCPs?
No, I haven't.
SCP Foundation?
No, I was trying to think of a funny acronym, but nothing was coming to me. What is SCP?
I'm 95% sure it's Secure, Contain, Protect, but it's kind of like an online wiki where the entire thing, all of the stories, all the submissions, all the cross-linked articles are user-submitted, like fan forum stuff.
Right.
And I think that there's maybe some gateway to having it published as one of the official SCPs, but you can basically write your own and submit it. And over years, it's built up into thousands and thousands of articles. And in a nutshell, as best I can, the SCP Foundation is this fictitious kind of anonymous, maybe government agency whose job is to protect basically the world from any of these incredibly dangerous or mystical or unknown functioning objects, creatures, entities. Some of them are more abstract even, like some of them are a concept, I guess. But I can't really...
When communism came and the
like...
SCP had to shut it down, the most dangerous monster of all.
Exactly. But one of them that I do remember, for example, is just this like 18-foot long crocodile-like swamp monster thing. And it, for whatever reason, has incredible regenerative abilities. So they tried to originally eliminate it with all sorts of... And the article lists this all out in like, you know, pseudo professional government language.
Okay.
X and X was subjected to tests, blah, blah, blah. And
Right.
And like they give the results and it's like, despite trying to detonate it with TNT and shit, it grows back immediately. It's like eating a ton of their agents. Like,
yeah.
So that's just in like 8-foot thick steel crate basically or something, and they've got like rotating guards and all these security measures, and that's what the article details.
Okay.
Sometimes they cross-reference other SCPs. Another really cool one that gives like kind of an antithetical example to that monster creature is an alarm clock that every every 70 minutes or something stupid, the alarm starts to go off. Or every 10 minutes, I think, the alarm starts to go off. And then for every second, it starts off imperceptibly quiet. And then for every second that it starts to ring, it doubles in decibels, which, if you're familiar, is an exponential...
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck. So my numbers might be off, but that's the point, basically. You have to hit snooze every 10 minutes, or this thing starts to get louder and louder and louder. And after like...
Faster and faster and faster.
Basically, like... 40 seconds in, anyone within 100 feet would have their eardrums destroyed. After a minute, like earthquakes that go off the Richter scale would be rocking the county. If it went for... People did the math on this, on the energy produced by this. It's like if you let this alarm ring for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, it will spontaneously create a black hole from the pressure waves and just suck the entire universe into it. So there are 2 guards on it at all times in rotating shifts who have to hit the snooze button every time it starts to ring loud enough.
Right, and they can't stop it.
Forever. They haven't found a way to destroy it.
Yeah, with that kind of energy production inside of it, you know.
It's nuts. If you're familiar with the game Control,
Yeah.
that is more or less based on the SCP
Oh, that
Foundation.
makes
This like kind of
sense.
anonymous government agency, forces
Yeah.
outside control, like crazy powers and shit.
Right.
Control is, I think, inspired by, and I think openly inspired by
Yeah.
SCPs.
Yeah.
But yeah, you
They
got
seem to be very much the same aesthetic.
dude, you've got to read through some of them. They're nuts
So I
and
kind
so
of
creative.
I kind of don't understand the process. So two questions. One, what would we be doing on a Discord episode
I'm glad you
with
asked. That's the
these
next part.
SCPs?
This was your background. What I was thinking is that we could have like a Yu-Gi-Oh duel with a hand of SCPs.
I see.
And based on what their abilities are, we have to bullshit our way through how this fight goes, and one winner comes out on top.
This sounds like it'll be such a subjective fight where we both have a stake in the game.
Yeah. Or I bet, I haven't even Googled this, but I bet that there's a similar idea out there where there's maybe even some balance to it. But I want to play SCP Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Because the important part
Well, dude,
is our color commentary on how these interact.
Dude, clearly the clock is going to be on my team. The alarm clock.
All I have to do is finish the rest of your team in under 10 minutes, hit snooze continually.
True.
But yeah, there's a ton of monster ones. There's a ton of weird everyday items. There's at least one magic banana of some sort. There's things that are interdimensional, things that are relics of aliens, we speculate.
Yeah.
Things that have toppled governments in the past or shown up throughout history.
Mhm.
It is nuts. It is thousands and thousands of articles long. SCP Foundation. Google that and have a fun time.
Damn, where did you find out about this?
Stevie K,
Oh,
former
yeah.
guest of the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Introduction to VR, a lot of anime, and SCP Foundation. Thanks,
Huh.
bud. Almost certainly not one of our 4 listeners at this point in the game.
You don't think so?
I don't think he's huge into podcasts.
Yeah,
and
fair enough. And
this isn't one.
and
that
why would
rank
you? Yeah.
highly if he were.
Why would this be the one to change him?
It wouldn't.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, exactly. But I think SCPs are pretty damn interesting, and we could definitely go down some rabbit holes on that.
Yeah.
It's an idea that needs some workshopping, but I wanted to bring that up. See what your thoughts are.
Thoughts on it. Yeah, I guess we'll definitely have to figure out some like formalized like rules to how this goes. It's like, no, but then I switch in this guy and then I switch in this guy. But yeah. I see what you're saying. That could be fun. I'd be down for that.
They're pretty nifty. It also makes me really want to play Control.
Yes, dude.
That game looks really, really cool.
The thing is, now that I have a
on Steam.
PC, I think I'll actually play it because I don't think it would run very well on my PS4, and it might be on Switch, and I can't imagine it runs any better than like Cyberpunk does. Like,
Cyberpunk on Switch?
oh god, no, yeah, that's not a thing. But like,
I think there's a Switch Pro coming out.
yeah,
Evidently 4K resolution for.
yeah, probably
whatever.
still like low processor games or low.
Man, there is something about a Nintendo game though. The feel that they capture.
Yeah.
They're just so fun.
It's so amazing, dude. Yeah, I mean, I was never even like a big Zelda guy, but yeah, Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild is the first Zelda game I've played, and I've
Mhm.
already dumped double-digit hours in.
It's crazy.
I say already as if I haven't had it for a year, and the double digit isn't 11.
Okay, well, when you put it like that,
Still the most of any Zelda game I've played, and I
Right,
intend to
right.
put more time in.
Yeah.
It was really fun. I set out that checklist for myself, just get to the lookout tower in every part of the map.
Yep.
And it was really, really hard, and I died a bunch of times because I'm like a 5-heart nobody.
Yeah. Some of those are definitely designed to be achieved later on.
But now I did that, and then I've rested for many
Mm.
weeks.
Yeah.
What are you playing right now? You've got the VR set up? It's pretty
Yeah.
nice.
So actually, the last thing I was really playing was this like just 2D side-scrolling indie game called The Messenger.
I think I've heard of it, but I'm not familiar.
Basically, so yeah, it's kind of plays like an old like Ninja Gaiden game. But yeah, just like solid platforming, combat, everything.
How indie on a scale of Obra Dinn to Minecraft now?
Oh, closer to Obra Dinn,
Okay.
I guess. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But so I was mostly playing it because I just got this computer and I got the wireless adapter for an Xbox controller. So I needed something to test it on the computer with, and I was also running it to my TV. And so I needed something that was just like quick and snappy, and I knew like how it was supposed to feel. So I was playing like a more complicated game. I might like not realize
Like how
lag or
Super Meat
something.
Boy is precise in
Yeah,
its inputs?
exactly. Something
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
And how'd it work?
Yeah, it works good, dude. It's fucking
Great.
awesome. I love it. Thanks for giving me that Xbox controller.
Yeah, no problem. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And now you've got Blade and Sorcery, which
Yeah.
Star Wars mod.
Yeah.
Oh, you can slay every youngling.
I really want to play Ghost Runner too. I've been meaning to get to that.
That looks real cool.
I just haven't bought it yet, and there's so many games that I have bought.
Next time you're at my place, I want you to sign in on your library too, so that
Okay, yeah,
the
yeah,
couple
yeah.
of crossovers like that, maybe Control if you get it.
Right.
I should probably choke back on my video game spending.
I want to do the Xbox Game Pass for PC because it's like $1 for 3 months.
And there's some really great games on
Yeah,
there. That's
exactly.
how I played Doom Eternal.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of them.
I finished it one day late, so I paid for the month and then canceled it the next day when I finished the game.
I would
and
say
they
that that's
refunded me.
probably the game that I want Xbox Game Pass the most for is Doom Eternal, just to get that. But
It's so flashy and fun and tight and really well balanced and
Yeah.
designed and paced and spaced. It's great. It's really fucking excellent.
yeah, it checks all
The
the
collectibles,
boxes.
excellent. The soundtrack, really excellent.
Mm-hmm.
The guns, pretty much every one of them feels great to use.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time.
Hell yeah. I'm trying to think what's coming out that I'm excited for.
I'm excited for Cyberpunk's 15th iteration.
I have a friend who played Cyberpunk, or a couple friends who played Cyberpunk, and they said, and he was playing it on the PS5. So not like, PC specs, but he's like, people are complaining too much. Like, it works fine on PS5.
Okay.
But he was saying, other than the fact that it is like the most beautiful world he's ever played in,
Oh my gosh.
it kind of still plays like
A last gen game?
not like a last gen game, but like I guess mechanically it still is a Ubisoft open world, like Far Cry-esque kind of thing.
I do love Far Cry, but
Yeah.
I guess I wish it was more
But, like-
unique in its play.
Between like everything else that is like polish is like perfect. Like beautiful world, great performances like when they're needed.
Fun level trees,
Yeah, exactly.
interesting
like,
combat, varied enemies.
combat is like as good as any of those games. Like,
Okay.
yeah, it's like for like a mostly an RPG game, the combat is still like great.
Okay.
shooter
That's
combat.
important to me.
Yeah, exactly. So
That looks like a game I would actually play through multiple times too. That looks like the way you play it would be different enough that it justifies doing a stealth hacker build. It
Mhm.
justifies doing a melee shooter build.
right,
Both
Yeah.
like diversifying at least 2 or 3 paths.
it's so big. Yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna get around to that.
I doubt until late 2021. for
Yeah,
me.
right.
Maybe not even then. If the
Yeah.
med school thing pans out, that might be the wrong type of time investment at
That's
that time.
true. Yeah, dude, big games, man. I don't know. They turn me off. Like if a game looks like too big.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey was incredible for 5 hours, and then I realized I was 3% into that.
Exactly.
I spent 5 hours, and it was only the tutorial island, which is literally like 3% of the land area of the game.
Yeah. Dude, only because of quarantine and everything being like really closed for a while was I able to like go so deep into Zelda. But yeah, anything like that, like that's why I like the small games. I'm playing the Messenger now. I like Ghost. I really want to play Ghost
My
Runner.
name is
Like,
Pedro.
yeah,
My friend
yeah, my
Pedro?
friend Pedro. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a fun one.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of good smaller games, and I guess I've been hooked by marketing for so many years that I generally look first to the massive ones
Yeah.
when there's really good, worthwhile small games.
Yeah,
Anyway, I have a crazy story to tell you.
please, ad break.
Buy our pocket
Yeah.
pussies. It's modeled after Steve.
Jesus, I'd rather the story.
The story is actually how I got that model, that mold,
Wow.
without you knowing till this very reveal.
Surprise.
Anyway, remember that time I invited you and Cosby to hang out?
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't make it. Such a disappointing night.
So I was wandering around the labyrinthine, labyrinthine, whatever. I don't
Labyrinth.
labyrinthine, labyrinthians. That's the
Yeah,
one I'm looking for.
labyrinthian.
Labyrinthians 2112. Uh, I was wandering around the hallways of the massive and very empty building where I now work when I'm in the office.
hmm
And most of the bathrooms are just like caution taped off, like they are only cleaning a couple of them and are open during COVID.
hmm
And they happen to be cleaning the one that I know and use. So I'm just kind of like walking around a little bit, stretching my achy, stiff back.
hmm
And I bump into the dude from the front desk who's also just walking around. He's like, oh, hey, whatever. And I was like, hey, do you happen to know where like another bathroom is? And he's like, yeah, right this way. I'll show you.
hmm
Points him out to me. I'm like, oh, thanks. And I just walk into the door that is at the bathroom I know, always the men's room.
Oh
Which,
no,
I mean, oops, whatever, just the doorway.
you're a
And I
fucking
realize
pervert.
he's behind me. Like, he says, wait, no, other door. And I'm like, huh? With the door already like pushed open. And realize I'm like, oh, my
And
bad.
there they
They're
were, a
mirrored
bunch of
from- they're mirrored
naked
from
ladies just in front of you.
a gaggle of them.
Yeah,
And I'm like, oh,
all
chuckle time.
shocked to see a man.
Good catch, thank you. Didn't even like notice the sign. I just went to the one that's on the left, which
Right,
is
right.
the other 2 or 3 bathrooms I pass, only one of which I use.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the order that they're in.
I gotcha.
Didn't expect it to be flipped here. But I open the door, and before I turn around realizing he's calling me, what I notice right in front of me, I shit you not, is a green leather sofa. And it
Oh.
really stuck in my mind because throwback to kindergarten when you hear that the girls' bathroom has like velvet rope. and,
Yes.
like, fucking-
Dude, why did everyone hear that same rumor in every school? That's
Take-
another one.
Take me back, baby.
That like, yeah, the girls' restroom is like has like a coffee machine and a lounge. Like,
Yeah, I don't know why that became a rumor, but I remember it. And I remember
but yeah,
like getting
accounts and
shoved in or
stuff.
shoving a friend in, like, go do reconnaissance or whatever.
Yeah.
For the girls' bathroom in like first grade.
Yeah.
Never a couch, never anything different, to my
Yeah.
dismay.
Yeah.
But
really.
in this one time, 20 years later, there is. And I go across and use the men's room, and I really look around just to be sure my eyes aren't fooling me. No couch.
Yeah.
Nowhere that I can see.
Right.
Got the urinals, 2-3 stalls, whatever. I didn't look into the women's room, so I don't know what their stall count layout is, but the mirror setup right in front of the door where the couch was
Yeah.
is not where the urinals were. Like, it wasn't space that was being occupied by gendered bathroom constructs.
Where was it?
In the men's room, in the men's room, it wasn't like the space where the couch was.
Oh, right.
Was filled with urinals. It's not
Yeah.
a difference in gendered bathroom. It was just that we had an 8-foot wide empty space and they had a leather sofa, which, mind you, I have not seen anywhere else in any of the lounge areas or conference rooms or offices.
Right.
Like, somebody brought this couch,
Yeah. Right.
I guess. And I don't know.
Well, that's what I was
And
wondering.
it's just sitting there. Like, as you open the door, it's against the wall facing the door. So, like, if you were to sit there and someone opens the door to use the bathroom, they are 3 feet away, immediately confronted with someone sitting on a couch.
Dude, you know what you got to do.
That has sit there and wait.
No, you gotta do recon on more of these women's bathrooms. Do they all have couches? Do they all have the same couches?
That's a really good question.
You know what I mean? Because if they all have the same couches, I don't think this is someone just bringing this. I think this is company supplied.
I'm arguing Title IX.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like how I got us compression underwear with the cheer team. The girls got sports bras and we didn't. So give us nut hammocks.
That there was a
Vera Bradley bags that we got.
yeah.
Also because I argued.
Yeah, I
Title
just gave it
IX.
to my mom. Yeah.
Yeah, it made a great gift for a friend or loved one,
Hmm.
and also was objectively fair. They got hundreds of dollars more stuff than we did.
But yeah, and so sometimes guys just need to take a minute in the bathroom.
We need a couch.
Yeah, we need a couch.
Yeah, freshen up. I don't think there was even like an extra mirror near it or a magazine rack. Like,
yeah.
I don't know why you just take a time to yourself. It's not like a great spot for a breastfeeding room if you were to bring a baby to the office.
Right.
I can't think of why that couch would ever be used and why it would be there in the first
Sometimes
place.
I guess ladies just need a minute. I don't know.
It's an interesting office. Over by the shipping room, I looked in and there's like a mostly dark, just lounge area with a whole bunch of extra chairs and like tables and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm sure if you had like clients or guests visiting is a nice little area to like entertain and talk to them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But in the middle of this dark room that I've never seen anyone in is a ping pong table.
Huh.
I guess we have ping pong at my office.
Yeah. Would you do that like on your lunch break, I guess?
Against one of the 3 60-year-old dudes who share the office
Yeah,
with me
fuck
right
him
now.
up, dude. Be the king.
Hold the paddle backwards just to scare him.
Yeah, exactly. Do it the Chinese way or whatever they call it.
Claw grip backwards.
Yeah, exactly. It's like gives them
Smack him with the
flashbacks to
forearm.
Nam.
Exactly. I haven't seen this style since Vietnam.
Since we went over to Nam to play their best in ping pong.
Man, I love the guys I work with, though. It is a wealth of knowledge. At the moment, it's literally me and then 2 to 4 dudes who I think are all in their like late 50s or 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them have been like scientists and engineers for 20, 25 years. Most of them
Yeah.
with Medtronic or the previous iterations of the company.
Right, right.
And God dang it, they just have the answer to everything. Like in
Yeah.
the lab,
Yes,
when I'm looking for
dude.
paperwork, when I'm
Yep.
asking a question about why something was done away.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, well, like historically this, but because of the regulation changes that, and the way that we used to do it was X.
Yeah.
So we had to, in 2012, transition to Y, and now
Right.
it's stored in Z, but you can access it like this.
Yes,
I'm like,
yes.
How do you just know the design,
Dude.
material, product, location, production, and manufacture history of hundreds of products across decades?
Dude, older people at my company know the company lore so well.
It is so cool to see. I feel so privileged to have these people as resources and to get this
Yeah.
insight into what like a company culture is, like
Yeah.
the way things have been done and are done and whatever.
Do you find it intimidating at all?
I almost always am running at the enthusiastic, like, give me extra work if you have it. How can I help? So it's like, while I feel like maybe I am underprepared or underinformed at the moment with some of the stuff I'm working on or asking them about,
Yeah.
I know that at least from their perspective, I am clearly doing everything I can.
Right.
So I stress about it less. Like, I'm all the time asking if there's anything I can help with, if they can teach me a new thing instead of just telling me the info so that I don't have to keep coming back to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, trying to be proactive, which a lot of the time there's not much to do, but if it's like, just, yep, okay, thanks, yeah, whatever, just
Yeah,
happy
yeah,
all the
yeah.
time,
Right.
always ready to go, it, I don't know, covers my ass, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely. I'm only a month in and I don't know a lot. Like, the questions I'm asking, some of them I know are remedial and dumb.
Do you have like a million new acronyms to learn?
Luckily, it correlates so closely with my previous job that
Oh,
like,
that's good.
90% of it carries over.
Okay,
But there are
okay.
a couple of things like the naming, what am I thinking of? The naming custom for how we title the different levels of packaging, from like individual product to a carton of them to a shipping case to whatever, is a little bit different from the other companies. So I'm asking, like, would I call this a case or a carton on the
Yeah.
shipping form? Like, such rote,
Yeah, like
everyday, they don't even
company
think about
specific
it
stuff. Yeah.
Those are the things that make me self-conscious, where I come to them 8 times throughout a day asking a question that isn't even something they need to check or think about.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry, me again.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah.
But yeah, again, to the credit of my coworkers, those guys in the office, they've all been incredibly helpful, incredibly kind,
Mhm.
like stellar.
Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah. You just got to get real comfortable asking questions, I feel like. Dude, you know what I've been thinking about recently?
I usually do, but what?
Childhood agreements that we just took as like automatic like laws. Like,
Okay.
all right, we are going to play rock, paper, scissors over this.
Okay.
And that will decide which of us gets the last piece of candy. Something like that. Or like noses. Well, noses, I think, kind of like, obviously it is automatic shitty democracy of like, no, majority wins, dude, and you were last. And you're only part of the majority because you weren't last.
That works best in a big group of people where most aren't paying attention to one person.
Yeah, exactly.
Usually best done if sprung on surprise.
But it's like no one protests the fact that like the person who says noses is automatically just saying, I am not doing this. Like,
You're right.
You know
Rock,
what I
paper,
mean?
scissors is a more fair
Like,
trial.
it's kind of a dick move to say noses, but everyone just kind of goes along with it because they're not the ones getting screwed.
Yeah.
But
That herd safety.
yeah, but something like rock, paper, scissors. I remember I was listening to CGP Gray's podcast, and he used to be a teacher.
Ooh.
And so he was saying how, like, for some reason, and age didn't really even matter because, like, he taught, he was a teacher. He had to, like, do a bunch of different ages or whatever. It's like, if there's a disagreement in your classroom, you have the kids play rock, paper, scissors. And for whatever reason, just about every kid will respect their own loss in a rock, paper, scissors game, no matter how, like, vehemently they were, like, arguing beforehand.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
psychology at work.
There was a bunch of those things, like
Trying to think
bubblegum in a dish. How many pieces do you wish? And everyone has their foot in.
I vaguely remember this, but not really how to do it.
Yeah.
Walk me through this act.
Okay. So you all have your feet in a line, and, like, every word you point to a different person, so it'll go around the circle, like bubblegum in a dish. How many pieces do you wish? And this is where it lands on that person. They say a number, and then you go that many numbers around the circle, and then that person is, like, eliminated.
And then the last person standing is there.
Yeah, exactly. Is
Ooh.
chosen to be it for the game, or is chosen.
It's how you determine a singling out.
A singling out, exactly. But, like, with the numbers, it's like, I don't know. Each round, someone gets to screw someone else.
Yeah.
Or no, save someone else, I guess. Or save yourself. I don't know. I feel like kids just say random numbers because they're weirdly honest and, like, don't have, like, the forethought to think ahead. Like, okay, if I choose 6, that'll get me, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Until you get a little older, but
that would be at least, like, I feel high school before you're putting that math together.
Yeah,
to try and skew the game your way.
Yeah, when you're thinking,
well,
multiple
maybe
moves
middle
ahead.
school, because now I'm thinking back to Triple R Ranch, which was basically the 4-H Christian sleepaway camp I went to for a week each summer.
Right, throwback.
Dude, I love that. I love camp. All about it. Hell yeah.
Right.
And this one was great. Really no complaints. But I remember playing, like, at night in the cabin when you had cool counselors, whatever, Mafia or BS
Hell
or
yeah.
whatever, all sorts of card games and other shit. And BS in particular, when you're all, like, playing from your bunk and can't see each other's cards, and it really is about the art of the bullshit.
Yeah.
That is, I think, when I was first putting together, like, the math of several turns ahead what you had to bullshit that you had now, so that because I know 4 rounds from now I'm gonna land on, like, consecutively 7, Jack, 4, and King, and I have 3 of those, so I need to bullshit the Jack with the one card I don't.
So wait, how do you play BS from different beds?
I think out loud, but I might be like crossing memories of Mafia and other stuff, but I remember us playing it maybe, I guess, in a circle on a bunk or on the floor.
But still in the dark.
Yeah, like, easy enough that you could BS well.
Yeah.
Like, I clearly didn't have masterful skills of deception at that point.
Yeah.
But I was very good at that game.
Right.
And won, like, not all of the time, of course, but enough of a percentage that I knew I was affecting the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Like, more than most.
Yeah.
So I think that was maybe middle school. So yeah, I guess maybe like 11, 12, you might be able to first do that. But you're playing rock, paper, scissors at 4.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, the simpler rules. I mean, with less agency, I guess. But I'm trying to think of other
mores that were just
shared
among.
I mean, just calling things in general too. Like, if somebody called something, it's like, well, he said it first. Dibs.
Yeah.
Dibs are sacred.
I call front of the line.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, fuck. This little bitch is the line leader today.
Dude, another thing.
You know what was horseshit? Teachers that didn't rotate their goddamn line order and who did it alphabetically by first name.
Oh.
I had maybe 1 year in elementary school where a teacher had that policy, and it affected every time we went anywhere in a line. And I remember including to the cafeteria. So I was every day the last person to the cafeteria from
alphabetical
my
by first name.
Like, what horse shit is that? The world never works that way.
I am a C. Okay,
And Zane is after Zach.
I belong third in line among all the people in an average group of 26.
Except for the Zebediah I knew in high school.
Yeah.
I was always the last ever if that came up.
The Zebediah.
Yeah, I don't know what type of family he came from, but he was one of the like run with your arms behind you type.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice kid.
Oh wait,
know
real
what was really-
person.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is not a fake
Yeah.
name. I was sure it was.
And I'm pretty certain that I'm placing it correctly to say high school. I'm 95% sure he was like my grade or a year below in high school.
Okay.
But what was really, really cool about my high school is that there was, despite being like pretty clear, I guess you would say, cliques, it wasn't very like animus between. There wasn't much enmity. Everyone was pretty cool with each other.
Typical of a smaller high school.
We had 900 students.
Oh, that's big as fuck.
It's a medium.
Oh wait.
Medium / large.
No, I had like
we went
750.
we had 800 and then we went to 900 and moved up to large in some sports. I
Okay.
think. So right around medium.
Okay,
large
but yeah,
for
900
Connecticut.
isn't tiny then.
Exactly. We had like 212 in my grade when I started. 184 graduated. But one of the things that didn't suck there was that like I was in a bunch of sports, but I was in a bunch of the like classes that were smaller and more the same group of kids, but also I had the extra
Talking about like honors and AP stuff. Yeah, same.
but like I also was in a bunch of the clubs or the student volunteer stuff, so there was like a pretty fine mixing between it.
Yeah.
And side note, that's all well and good, but kind of bland, just being like semi-involved in all of them.
Yeah,
instead of
yeah,
that,
having your
like
hand
that's
in
why I
every
don't have
pie.
any friend groups from high school. Really, I was more of all the groups than in any of them.
I mean, the thing about sports though is like,
But there
I
were
would
groups
say-
of friends in my grade that even I at the time hung out with some that were and are still like a friend group, and I wasn't like ever contiguously part of that. But what was super cool, to try and get back to my original thought, is that all of the kids that were like the sporty or popular kids, quote, whatever, a bunch of with I was on teams with or something, and generally sat with at lunch if they were there and was buddies with. But there was like the opposite of bullying. I guess all the anti-bullying movement through like our elementary and middle school years was effective, because in high school, like I'm thinking of a couple of more meatheady dudes that I was still pretty decent friends with, that like would invite kids over to sit with us when they were sitting by themselves, or like,
and this wasn't to fuck with them.
no, like genuinely. Also, there was one kid, Austin, who was in like the special needs program at our school. That was what it was called then. I don't know if that's changed or incorrect now, but that's my best knowledge of it. Good intentions only.
Right.
Cover my ass.
Got it.
I started worrying that I might want to go to China someday, and I should probably stop shitting on them. But I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
Right.
I have to document my whole time there, so at least people know if I get
Yeah,
disappeared.
it's a comedy podcast.
Woohoo. It's all satire. We love you, G.
We love you so much that we know your name.
Xi Jinping.
I kind of want to hear more about this.
Yeah, I'll get back to it. They gotta straighten their shit out. Anyway, free Taiwan.
We love you, but you could be better, and we want the best
want
for
you to
you.
be better.
Yeah, we want the best for you,
Just
China.
not with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But back to it. So this kid Austin, anytime he had the same lunch period of the three as like this particular group of football guys that I am thinking about, they would always have him come join the table and would always be engaging him in conversation and like gassing him up and like applauding his stories. And it was always like that. Like you would,
It sounds like the jacked guys from Mob Psycho 100.
I didn't get far enough in the show to compare it. But, oh wait. Yeah, they were all super supportive of each other.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, it's when Mob has to pick between like the nerdy kids who are into psychics and like the jock guys.
They're all super nice and friendly.
And he picks like the jock guys, like the fitness
I did
club,
see
and
that.
they raise him higher than he's ever been before. Like,
It was exactly like that. And I respect the shit out of those dudes and the environment of my high school for enabling that, because like that was great. That's some quality behavior.
Yeah.
There wasn't a ton of like straight bullying. There were some fights. I think there was one kid who got arrested his senior year because a list got found or something. He had a list
A list.
of people like kind of school shooter vibesy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Walked on
Scary
his tiptoes
stuff.
all the time. I remember that about him.
A man with something to prove's got something to lose. Got nothing to lose. Fumbled
Bars.
that. A man with something to prove and nothing to lose.
But yeah, nothing crazy. I remember one of my exes told me about at her high school, a ton of the guys that were on sports teams started I guess, trading card game with girls' nudes. And it got so
I could see that
widespread that like
happening.
parents and faculty got involved, and like it was written about in the newspaper of the town.
Yeah.
It was like that's shitty, dude.
Yeah, that
That's
is really shitty.
fucking that's shit.
It's kind of funny,
That's
but
that
it's
Connecticut
really
coastal
shitty.
town shit.
That's some shit I would laugh at in like Always Sunny, but like because it's like this is so shitty.
But because it's real life,
Yeah,
you don't want it to
exactly.
be real. Yeah.
Uh,
So I'm glad like there wasn't any of that. There was
what does that mean, a trading card game?
like they were, I guess, of different point values or something. So like you would barter to try and build your
Really?
collection. Yeah.
I'm kind of curious about how this system worked and how complex it was.
Would it be in poor taste for us to try and design our own system for this hypothetical game?
Ooh. It definitely would be in
Pretending
poor
it's in the
taste.
hypothetical setting of a college environment where there is a waiver sent off anytime a girl puts a nude into circulation. She's knowingly like, this seems funny and I'm here to watch it unfold.
Yeah, she's essentially
This is the thought experiment.
Yeah, she's a
Like great philosophers, not criminals.
what's the word I'm looking for? Compensated sex worker in this sense.
Yeah. Regulate. That's safer and better for everyone. Anyway. Okay, so I guess that's the means of supply. The law of demand is going to be high across the board.
Like it's like an OnlyFans kind of thing, like an OnlyFans trading card game.
Yeah, I
extension.
guess it's up to these progenitors, these girls who put the currency into circulation, to decide how many they give out at
Yeah,
the start. And then I guess every guy would be trying to work to convince these participants
Yeah,
in
like,
this experiment to send them one de novo. And also they'd be working to trade copies of the ones, because what's cool is when you trade these, when you trade these, you don't lose it. It's
Like-
a picture. You send it, so it's a copy. You both have it now.
you could think about it like they'd be like, "Oh, I'm releasing 500 ultra rare Valentine's Day like picks."
Specials.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like first 500 people get like one of these ultra rare cards.
In a college setting, 500. Okay, these are ambitious. Maybe I was thinking like 20.
Oh
for
no,
a
no,
rare
no. Yeah,
release.
sorry. I was thinking more like OnlyFans scale.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wonder what the distribution graph looks like for that.
And if you could buy booster packs of these like
Yeah,
like so it'll
you
each
could just
booster-
straight up like Venmo them $20 and they're like, word,
Yeah.
here's a starter kit,
each booster pack has like
a starter deck.
a certain amount of like commons, a certain amount of like rares, and like maybe sometimes like 0.5% chance of having like an ultra rare holographic.
Even in the idealized thought experiment part of this, where all of these girls are like, thumbs up, here's my permission and
Yeah,
photo,
yeah.
or photos or whatever. I don't
You would
whatever.
license these photos to this
Yeah,
thing.
sure.
Yeah.
Like some weird paid app or whatever. So
Yeah.
technically it's all like private individuals, but yeah, kind of like a different structure for OnlyFans.
Actually, I don't know if I love that. I want these girls being compensated more, like directly.
yeah. I mean, I figured I was doing it for the comedy. I was
Yeah,
hoping some of that would do.
Fair.
There's probably people out there like that.
Yeah.
We got to get on any of the Gas Digital podcasts, like Legion of Skanks.
Mhm.
Any of their fan base, I'm sure, would be contributors to this type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the Two Bears One Cave, some of theirs too.
Right,
They
right,
got some
right.
crazy shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a penis on the live show.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the porn star that Bert was obsessed with for a while, the dude, Tom got him to Skype in, and he stood up and just showed his dick off because they asked him
Wow.
to, and they were like, "Yeah, you can do whatever. It's a paid live show, so it's like whatever goes."
Wow.
And
Amazing.
Bert's freaking out and bright. It was a fucking funny thing.
That's amazing.
Molly and I were watching that live show.
How was the quality live?
It was fine.
It was good.
Yeah,
Nice.
all good enough. But the part that even in this super ideal whatever, sure, they're either getting compensated appropriately or they think it's funny and they're like, yeah, this is fine, in this like community of dudes that I'm like tangentially friends with. I don't really care. I'm a nude model anyway, or
Mhm.
something. Fuck it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All of those boxes are checked somehow, ethically and morally.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Still, then I think the problem comes to the point that it is not just a quantity or a checking the box of each individual person, but there is going to arise a value system. And that is, I think, where it gets kind of dark and sketchy, because then it is directly objectification of people will be like, no, this photo is not worth that one you want to trade me. Give me two.
Mhm.
And then you're comparing girls to each other and objectifying them. And
Hmm.
that, I think, even if we try and check these boxes with the thought experiment, that's still going to happen like as a naturally arising system. And that I don't love.
That's yeah, that's a very good point. But I guess if
This
these
might be a flawed game completely. We might not be able to salvage it, even with
yeah,
everyone's willing consent.
it just feels like porn to me. I don't know. It doesn't seem like any more of a commodification of a woman than porn.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I see what you're saying in the
It's
fact
the
that it is
ranking of it,
yeah,
which I don't think is, I mean, there's likes and dislikes, but on a video,
it's
that's
not
like
as
what?
concrete.
The sound, the quality, the dude,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
hair, the whatever the fuck.
It's not as concretely just ranking women.
Exactly. Or whoever we did this game with. We
Hmm.
could I would feel so much better about this if, bear with me,
Yeah. We did it
It's-
about literally anything else. Me too.
we flip it. So it's all dudes.
Big
and then
hunky dudes.
It's like maybe more of a roast than a ranking.
Why is
and
that
the girls trade it, and I feel so much better.
Why is that
about
so much less icky to me? Yeah.
Because it's ha, and everyone makes fun of themselves, and you laugh
Right.
instead of objectifying someone else. I
Right.
think. That would be so much funnier. I think we're gonna have a lot harder of a time getting either party involved.
Yeah.
But now you could probably get plenty of dudes to submit nude.
Yeah.
pics.
Oh, yeah. Even if they're not nude, even if it's just like waist up,
Bikini
just
pics.
jacked boys. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Sure, shirtless pics. I guess it could be that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But that feels like it lowers the stakes, and we're giving them an
Just
unfair
straight up
advantage.
nudes of dudes, just full body nudes.
Full frontal,
Just
T pose, flaccid. Full frontal T pose, flaccid. Body flaccid. You can't flex anything.
Yeah.
Just T pose, standing. Your absolute default form.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And then we can sign up a whole slew of willing any gender participants, and then they can trade those like trading cards.
Are we gonna the thing is, are we going to make these trading cards, or are we going to make this a trading card game?
Where like at the end of a limited number of time, maybe everyone pays $5 in.
No. I mean,
they get a
like,
pot.
there is a game that you can play with these cards. Like
Oh, like
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
You can battle.
Yeah, can you battle your boys?
Battle dicks?
Yeah.
You've heard of Battleship. Now get ready for
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fight boys.
the only way I see that going is the same way that we bullshit a tier list out of cartoon mascots. Just these people putting forward their flaccid T-pose dick pics and saying, I swing 4-inch soft at you.
Yeah.
Maybe a dice game, tabletop RPG.
I imagine these going around like stocks, essentially being traded like rare
In
Pepes.
value. Mickey Mantle. Wait, yeah, I think Mickey Mantle rookie card or something like that. I think
Mhm.
that's the person. Like a 1952 Mickey Mantle rookie card or some shit.
In
Sold
mint
for
condition.
$5.2 million.
Insane.
New record for a trading card. I probably got the year and the person wrong, but it's at least a rookie card. I know that.
Yeah.
Unless it isn't. It might not be a rookie card.
Still, dude, that's
5.2 million is correct. The one part I remember.
$5.2 million.
Incredible. Tax haven for the rich, I think.
What do you mean?
Isn't that the same argument of why people buy art? Because you can dump money into it and it's like not income or whatever. And it
Oh, so
basically
it
just
can't be
like holds
taxed.
value. And yeah, I think that's
Hmm.
basically what I have had art recently explained to me as. Fine art anyway.
Wow. Yeah, because I mean, the only thing that
acquire
determines
assets
the
and
price
then
of an art
I don't
is,
know if there's depreciation on that, so probably not.
yeah, the only thing that determines the value of a piece of art is what someone is willing to pay for it.
And if you set
More
a
so
fucking
than anything
record and then
else.
hold it forever, then it will almost certainly continue to go up or be the
Right,
same
right.
at least.
Yeah.
Jay-Z talks about that in 444. He says
Mm,
something like bought a painting worth 1 million. Next year, the shit worth 2 million or something.
yeah.
Next year, the shit worth 4 million. So give that shit to my kids or
Yeah.
something.
I can't wait to give this shit to all my children.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
I think I really captured the essence of it.
Yeah. I think so too. I think you embodied Hove right there for a
I don't have
sec.
enough teeth to enunciate those bars.
uh,
I think Jay-Z might have evolved as a rapper beyond the point where I can access it. I didn't like 444.
hmm.
Everyone chatting about it in the group me's back in
It's an old, weary
college.
Jay-Z. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a mature Jay-Z.
Exactly.
Heard Charlemagne talk about it. Charlemagne and Andrew Schultz have a podcast called Brilliant Idiots,
I think I was listening
which
to
is,
that.
I think, a beautiful mirror to what we are.
Yeah.
But it's really good. I like it a lot.
I was listening to the two of them on a podcast. I don't know if it was Brilliant Idiots or if it was just the two of them on some podcast together.
Either's possible.
Yeah, man, they both have so much energy, such good chemistry.
Oh, honestly, if there was one person in comedy that I could be buddies with, it would, I think, be Andrew Schultz. I would love to be friends with and get roasted by him.
Yeah.
Hanging with him would be so fucking dope. That's
Oh,
on my make-a-wish list.
dude, speaking of roasting, I was talking to this girl on Hinge recently. I'm actually gonna pull this up because I want to read it verbatim.
I'm excited for which way it went.
But so I had like messaged her, whatever, and then she messaged me back. And in her bio, it said like, "I'll give you a compliment or a roast." And I said, "LOL, roast me."
Oh boy.
And she said, "Where
Hey,
is
thanks
it?"
for this nutty coffee, by the way.
Oh yeah, dude, anytime. She goes, "Steven, it looks like the only thing you think you bring to the table is height and athletic ability, which leads me to believe you either have a shitty personality or you hate who you are beyond your athletic figure."
That's a hard roast and a hard miss.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a good effort.
very well written. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good effort. It's a good roast. It would have been hysterical if she had like nailed a true insecurity.
And I don't
like
know.
your
Sometimes I
receding
hate
hairline.
myself, so it could be. She
No,
could be onto something.
That's the normal amount of hate yourself.
Right,
Everyone gets that.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, you and your shit personality. You're
Exactly.
a fucking green dude. Everybody loves you.
She nailed me.
Did she?
She beamed me, dude. No, she has not. I don't know. I hate
getting roasted.
dude, that fucking bitch, dude. That fucking bitch. Who has the fucking nerve?
The audacity of this bitch.
Yeah, oh my god. The nerve to say something so incredibly rude and hurtful. I'll never forgive her. But yeah, so I don't know. But yeah, no, it's the same kind of thing. Like, that's a great effort from her. Good for her. She's really like taking lead. And I still just don't have like the, I don't know, impetus to like continue texting strangers.
I don't even think I have any advice or way to pass on my enjoyment of that to you. It's just not your personality to like it.
Exactly.
Like I don't think I have any words of wisdom for you on the subject.
Inherent differences. It's fine.
It's
We'll all
aight.
float on. You know what I mean?
That's a great song.
Absolutely.
Modest Mouse. I know some musicians.
Humble Rodent.
Guitar Hero and Rock Band are responsible for a decent portion of it.
Yeah. They always did a good job of like introducing me to like cool music. You know what also always had cool music was the FIFA soundtracks. Very like,
I wouldn't know.
had a lot of like Vampire Weekend, MGMT kind of like esque indie songs.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
That's
was
pretty dope.
very European, I think.
Cool.
But it was a lot of American music too. But
Well, that
yeah.
makes its way over.
Whereas like, I don't know if you ever listened to like the Madden soundtrack, which was
No.
all like super hard American, like rock and kind of stuff like that. It was like Hollywood Undead. It was that song from Blue Mountain State, like "Give me a hell, give me a yeah,
Great song.
stand up right now." Like it was like that was the vibe of Madden.
That's
then-
funny that you can compare it that way pretty clearly.
Oh yeah, and then NBA is always like very hip hop focused. NBA
That
2K
makes sense, though.
games, yeah.
That makes a lot
like-
of sense. That's good targeting.
Yeah, the
On all three
soundtracks are
parts.
exactly. But yeah, I definitely gravitated towards the FIFA soundtrack, despite never playing these games. My brother played them.
Good enough. You could listen.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a weird assortment of sources that I've drawn my music knowledge and preferences from. Everything from like middle school band shit to anything indie and weird folk that you've introduced me to
Yeah.
obscure rap artists, to obscure YouTube artists that you've introduced me to anime remixes that you've introduced me to. A lot of stuff from you, honestly, but
Yeah,
also,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, video games, movies. There have been commercials that I've heard where I have like Shazammed it and like that song leads to a band, leads to
Yeah.
a shuffle. And
Yep.
I'm like, this is a new branch of music I'm into. The different time periods in my life, different like emotional periods, different relationship periods, like
Yeah.
different times I was traveling or doing particular things like snowboarding playlists that I curated or found.
Yeah.
There's so many places that it's drawn from. No shit that it's an eclectic taste that I or anyone has
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
Like after even 2 decades, which isn't particularly long in comparison to some people. Now though, in the 2000s, 2 decades is so much exposure to
Mhm.
so many different sources of that type of imprinting.
Yeah. The thing is too, I feel like I don't really go out and search for music as much as I used to, but when I used to do it in high school, I feel like I was actively seeking new music all the time, but it was very much in like a genre. Like it was very much like I don't know,
By phase
alternative
or by
rock.
sort of autonomous choice? You're like,
Um
I'm gonna go explore what pop punk is, or like, was it an earworm thing, or a friend showed you a song that you just branched into it more naturally?
a lot of it was like cuz at this point I didn't have any music saved on my phone cuz like I still had to either buy it or pirate it and I wasn't like I hadn't been pirating it whatever. Um but I got some like app on Android that just had free music. And so I was just like, all right, I know this band, I'm going to just download all of their albums and listen to them all the way through and just keep the songs that I like from the album and then
Ooh,
move
that's
on to the next
deliberate.
band and just like so I did that with like I don't know, Mumford and Sons and The Strokes and the Lumineers and stuff like that.
Good
And then I moved
choices.
on to like Paramore and Panic at the Disco.
Great choice.
Um and just yeah, just I just did bands like that.
Man, I fuck with Panic at the Disco.
I
Their videos are incredible.
I like old Panic at the Disco.
Some of their new shit I do like a lot. Most of their old shit I do like a lot.
Death of a Bachelor is a
Incredible.
relatively new album. That's a
I
good
liked that album
album.
a lot. It was 2017 because I early.
Yeah.
So at least 4 years old.
Are there
Because I was listening to it in Sweden. That was one of the couple of albums that I had that really was like the soundtrack to that time. If I look
yeah.
back, there was that, 2 albums of John Bellion.
hmm
That was a big like phase of mine, and then like a handful of others, but those 2 stand out in
Yeah.
particular. I listened to it a lot.
John Bellion, like that kind of music is definitely something I got more into in college. Like that kind of like earworm, Quinn,
Oh, yes,
like
Quinn 92.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, those I listened to a lot of those, and that worked really well for like Bluetooth earbuds on my cobblestone bike ride home
Right,
in
right.
this 400-year-old village in or city.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
I kind of put chain smokers in there a little bit. Like,
Same-ish time, yeah.
yeah.
That was a good time for music for me. I liked a lot of what I was listening to, and I was listening to it a lot.
hmm
That was probably around when I started liking Childish Gambino and Chance also,
Yeah, that's the thing. Surprisingly, like
or shortly thereafter.
I didn't really get into like hip hop in a major way and like well, I mean, as much as I did at my peak, I guess, until college. With like Chance, I would say. Like cuz I had like listened to rap music
Yeah,
before and I
that
liked
was when I
it.
found like really good, high quality lyricist rap that
Yeah.
I really fucked with.
But then like yeah, and so when I was in high school, I was pretty much stuck in that like lane of like alternative rock mostly. Um and then yeah, for whatever reason, I just like I remember I got roasted by like my friend's girlfriend at the time, like, Steve, like kind of all your music sounds the same. And I was like, and I remember like taking that personally. I was like, fuck, it kind of does. So yeah, eventually got into rap through Chance, and then like I might have listened to more of that in college than like any other genre. It was like
I
rap
think
and
that
hip hop
fits.
in
That's what I
general.
would say. You
Yeah.
knew a lot of songs.
Yeah, I did.
You know, something I was realizing recently, and stop me if I already shared this thought with you, but
Mhm.
a lot of the things now that I look back on throughout my childhood, like for example, we watched that Ordinary Things video about sort of the history of hell, and they
Mhm.
mentioned all dogs go to heaven. And I remember watching that and watching it a bunch of times. And at the time, I thought it was, just another, to me at the time, it was just another VHS that my parents had.
Right.
But in its own way, like in its children-friendly depiction of hell, friendly being in quotes, depiction of hell, like that
Mhm.
sort of broke some barriers. And likewise, like a song that I remember hearing on the radio with my mom that I just remember hearing a bunch that I liked as like a 5-year-old or
Yeah.
6-year-old. Now I look back and realize like the corollaries to what that music would be today in terms of like, oh, this isn't just like a song my mom knows and plays on the while we're in the car.
Yeah.
This was like sweeping the nation at that time. Like this was
This was
a
a
moment in
phenomena.
history.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I looked back and kind of was like, whoa, realizing just that obviously some things stand out. Like when I
Right.
remember where I was when I watched the Twin Towers fall on my mom's TV
Mhm.
in her bedroom in Virginia. Like I remember that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But there are parts that were much more just background noise or standard for me. Like again, I think of the movies I watched as a kid. To me, they were just like, oh, those are the movies that we have at home that we watch a bunch.
These are
But
movies.
they
This is
were
what
like
movies are.
exactly, but at the time they were like new and like first time adaptations of these now beloved
Right,
characters,
right,
and like
right.
they were coming out in like the years then.
Yeah.
Like in a way, yeah, it was just something I hadn't reflected on before. Oh, these things that were just the setting or accoutrements to my life growing up were my perspective on global or nationwide or otherwise events of import.
Yeah.
Like just things that, yeah, it was really cool. I was like, oh, nifty. And it's been fun to think back on more of those and be like, oh, I wonder what people were thinking then at the time. Or I see how now that's what a 5-year-old experiences with Frozen now.
Yeah.
And this is just like my cousin watches this shit at least twice a week for years now. And like this is the background to, but it was in its own right kind of a new milestone in Disney and a massive success. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
enjoyed it as an adult. To her, it's just like, oh, this is my favorite movie.
Dude, some of those are like specifically like thinking about some of those like when we were in like kindergarten or whatever and the first like Harry Potter came out. And it's like and then around the same time Lord of the Rings came out.
Exactly.
And around
Harry
the
Potter
same
and Lord of
time
the
like
Rings.
the Star Wars prequel trilogy was
I
coming
remember
out.
walking down from my room in Virginia and seeing the Two Towers on, and my parents sending me back upstairs because it was an adult movie I wasn't old enough to watch yet.
Right.
I remember seeing an orc and being like, what the hell is
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, I
It was
totally did not understand Lord of the Rings when I first watched it as a kid either. Definitely not.
for sure not.
No way.
But I definitely enjoyed it. My dad liked
Yeah,
Gimli
me
a
too.
lot. I was all for Ganondorf.
Yeah.
Ganondorf.
Yeah, I was always the wizard guy. But yeah, that one,
I
Harry
know it's
Potter,
Gandalf, by the way.
and like I don't know, these are such big franchises.
Yep. The Harry Potter ones. I remember seeing Chamber of Secrets in theaters and
Mm.
leaving kind of scared and walking across the parking lot dark to our SUV
Oh hell yeah.
and looking around like, is there a basilisk out here?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, oh, sick. We're going to the movies again. We do this once a month or whatever. Oh, this is like, I read this already, I think.
Mm.
I think I'd read it at that by that time. Oh, cool. We get to see the movie version now. But it was, yeah, a worldwide phenomenon, not just, oh, cool, now I can see my character on the TV.
Dude, for me, after Goblet of Fire,
I'm realizing, I guess, what a small part relative my perspective of a thing was of
yeah,
the thing
yeah,
in the whole.
right, right.
I'm realizing the scope of it. Like, oh yeah, you really did as a child think of yourself kind of as the center of the universe.
Yeah, yeah, and these were yeah. This is just what movies are, but those were all such big deals. But for me, have you seen all the Harry Potter movies?
Yes.
For me, they kind of blend together after Goblet of Fire. Like I remember the
Including
first
Goblet of
four.
Fire?
No, I remember the first four very distinctly.
That's Goblet of Fire.
That's Goblet of Fire is the fourth,
And then the second four.
and then like 5
is
through 7 too.
5, 6, 7, 7.
Yeah.
So the first four, yeah.
After that, they kind of like blend together for me at least. I think after that, I've only seen each of the movies once. That might also be part of it.
That is probably,
Where I've seen the first 4 movies multiple times.
yeah. I think also that is where my familiarity matrix would overlay it.
Yeah.
The fifth, yeah,
Order of the
like I remember
Phoenix.
Order of the Phoenix. I remember particular things, like this is where we kind of get the gang together for the first time.
This
the
is where we
rebel
start
gang.
fighting. Yeah.
We get the Animorph girl,
Yeah.
Tonks. I think.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's her name.
But
Tonks.
Molly's screaming at the podcast right now.
Oh yeah.
She has listened to every Harry Potter audiobook like 100 times. She can
Wow.
quote direct from the source.
I wonder what her favorite Harry Potter is.
When I was telling you about the trivia that I did in Edinburgh, that was Game of Thrones and Harry Potter, and we missed the one birthmark
Right,
question.
right.
She correction. I Googled it and found, yes, it was a birthmark.
Mm-hmm.
Then she cited the book, and it is a scar, not a birthmark.
Wow.
The online source was wrong. She corrected me. In the book, it's a scar on his left knee in the map, the shape of the map of the London Underground.
On his knee? I thought this like took up his whole back.
No, yeah.
So do you get
so
up to him with a magnifying glass?
Like, if you had me at trivia, you'd have won it.
Yeah,
well, we didn't, and we missed that one question. And it's crazy that 3.5 years later, you know the answer to it.
Crazy, yeah.
That's a level of familiarity that I have with some things.
I have that with Naruto, I would say.
With Naruto, yeah, dude, you can go deep cuts.
Although my Naruto knowledge is probably pretty rusty at this point, but it's just such a long story. You kind of like to watch the whole thing have to be like that. Also, I was watching it as it came out, so I was very much in the community, like going on the subreddits as things were being discussed. And so, yeah, that also definitely builds to an inherent knowledge of it.
I'm trying to think of what major series or maybe even multimedia series.
I mean, Game of Thrones,
I have
at one
direct
point.
knowledge with. Yeah, Game of Thrones, very good. Books and show. A lot of the show twice also.
I think I'm pretty good with Avatar stuff too.
Last Airbender?
Yeah.
I've now seen it all and relatively recently, so I would think I'd be okay, but I don't have the names like you do.
Right.
There are some, I mean, I'm pretty good at Star Wars. I'm pretty good at Star Wars. I'm pretty good at kind of a broad spattering of movies and games and TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
But none stick out as like my flagship one, the way that Harry Potter would be, or like how people identify themselves in particular. Star Trek, I'm not good at.
Oh, that's a big
Doctor
one.
Who.
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
much.
another big one.
X-Files, I don't know much.
Dragon Ball Z, you watched all of.
I watched all of Dragon Ball Z. That would be one that I would say I'm comfortable with, but none of the other Dragon Ball arcs.
Right.
There's just a bunch. You could rattle off a list of 100 movies and probably 50 or 60 of them.
Just franchises, yeah.
Marvel.
Oh yeah, you'd be good at Marvel.
How did I miss
that's
that
one
for
for
long?
sure. Yeah.
I have forward and backward knowledge for pretty much everything MCU. I can't go comic toe to toe for sure.
Oh yeah, that's different
but
though.
The MCU, I am pretty goddamn literate.
Right.
Yeah, I guess that would be my flagship one. Okay.
Yeah. There you go. We all got one. I'm trying to think if there's any video game ones for me also. At one point it was Assassin's Creed, but not anymore.
Oh, that got way broad, way fast. What would be my? No, I've spread around. I didn't do Halo 4 or 5.
Smash, I guess. I know a lot of like very, very niche Smash stuff.
Yeah, that's you. You know history, lore. You know
competitive scene.
Exactly. For video games, I doubt I'll have one because there's a bunch that I love, like Ratchet and Clank. Until I didn't have the console for it.
Right.
Which I'll get around to at some point, I hope. I've played a bunch of the Far Cries, but not the beginnings or some of the newest. So not that.
Yeah.
I've played a bunch of the Elder Scrolls games, bunch of the Fallout games, bunch of Fallout. That might be. Elder
Scrolls is definitely one that you could like fall deep into.
Yeah, but I'm not that deep. Like I didn't read all the books in Skyrim, I'll tell you that. So yeah, I guess I don't think I have enough consistency. Played a bunch of the Metal Gear games.
Yeah.
But not even all the ones that I own to completion.
That's crazy.
Well, just not the newest.
Oh, 5?
Yeah.
5 was good. People don't... Hardcore Metal Gear fans, I feel like, say shitty things about 5, but as someone who's only played 3, I quite enjoyed myself with 5.
3 was really good. I also played 2. I've played portions of 1. I played 4 several times through.
Mm-hmm.
Peace Walker through the end game.
Right.
Yeah, and then I'm portioned into 5. I guess I don't really have any flagship video game things, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That reflects my interest more.
Exactly.
Diversity.
That's fine. You can't be jack of all trades.
Right into the comments, folks. What are your video game, TV, movie, whatever?
Yeah, what are you obsessed with? And while you're down there in the comments, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications.
And also use code FELLAS at checkout for The Pocket Pussy.
Yeah, and
Fleshlight, that's the actual brand.
it'll make your subscription free.
Your Pocket Pussy subscription.
Yeah, one new one a month.
Jesus, but there is no return policy. Heads up.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we'll see you folks next time on
Couple of friends.